Hi, this is Cindy Case in the Office of Youth and Young Adult Ministry for the Diocese of Youngstown. And I want to thank you for taking on the role of being a group leader for the Diocesan Youth Convention 2018. In this video, we're just going to quickly review some of the information related to the registration process in case you have any questions or just want to make sure that you have checked off everything that you need to do to get your group registered. So first of all, hopefully you have already picked up or downloaded your packet to help you with the planning process, which you can now see on my screen. And as you can see, we talk about the registration process on pages 5 and 6 of the manual. So you flip down to those pages and you will find under the chaperone section the registration process. I do understand that it is a little complicated, and I apologize for that. And I've tried to make it as simple as possible, which actually means it adds another step to help us make sure that we are organized together. But in doing this, what you will want to do is make sure that you have form number 1, which is the summary form for the whole registration. So this is to let me know who the group leader is so that I can contact you with follow-ups. This is the total number of people that you're going to be bringing with you in this area. So I need to know the chaperones that are already in compliance with child protection policy of the diocese, the number of teens that you're bringing, grades 9 through 12, and then your total number. And then if you have gone through the forms and you see that anyone's vegetarian or gluten-free, it would be helpful to let us know. Although for this year's dinner, the chicken option, obviously a vegetarian can just skip the chicken. If they're gluten-free, there is going to be a grilled option so that they don't need to take the breaded. The pasta will be vegetarian sauce, and the salad would be vegetarian and gluten-free. So hopefully those won't be too difficult this year, but we're leaving those on the form because in case there's a change of menu items. Also on the individual forms, if someone has some special needs that we need to be aware of, it would be great if you could highlight that here, because when I start going through hundreds of forms at one time, I would hate to miss anything that I need to notice. Then we talk about the cost per person. So if you're registering on time, it's $30 per person. You would put your total number of people times the $30. This way you know how much of the check to write, payable to the Diocese of Youngstown. And then this is a section if any of the priests from your parish or school will be able to come. You do not need to pay the fee for them to be there. If they are serving as a chaperone, do make sure that you list that here, maybe with a little asterisk, and let me know. So if a priest is going to be a chaperone, they need to be there all day as a chaperone. That's very difficult for most priests, so they often will just come as guests or to help us out with reconciliation or concelebrating Mass. But let us know here, and if they're going to be there during the dinner time so that we make sure that we have enough money or enough food for them during that time. So that is Form A. Form 1, I apologize. Then we move to Form 2, which is the Excel spreadsheet. This is what's going to make it easiest for me to have your check-in sheets available for you on November 4th. And it will also help me make a master file. Since I'm the only one in the office, typing can take me a long time, so I appreciate you doing this. But it also helps you because then you know that you double-checked all the information that you need to have about your participants. So even though it seems like a daunting task, it's really going to be helpful once you get it all done that you have this all ready available. And it could be helpful for other programs of yours that you already have a running list on some of your folks if they have the special needs that we talked about on Form A, Form 1, and the vegetarian gluten-free. And this is just helpful then to have the emergency contact listed on a piece of paper before you have to go through rifling through the individual forms should something happen, which of course we hope it won't. So with this Excel form, I do not want you to, nor do I expect you to handwrite in this. I want you to type it, and then you can either email it to me at ccase@youngstown.org or burn it onto a flash drive. and send that with your registration. So that is Form 2. Forms 3 and 4 are the individual registration forms, and I just want to highlight that Form 3 with the adult form, there is the section that's saying that they say that they are in full compliance with child protection. I check this then with Monsignor Zora. So it does need to be true. So make sure that you know that when you're sending in these forms, the adults are in fact child protection compliant. Also, I get questions often of why we want medical information on the adults. This is not in any way to try to get into someone's privacy. These forms stay in a file box, and when they come back to the diocese afterwards, they are just kept on or kept in storage until we can destroy them. But we need to have the information because, unfortunately, sometimes adults do have something happen, and we need to know what to do about them. So I'm not going to tell a name, but I will say for a National Catholic Youth Conference a couple of years ago, one of our adults fell down a stairwell at the convention center. And while she was fine, there was a moment that she was stunned and we weren't sure if she was unconscious or not. And we need to pull out her form to see what medication she might be on in case there would be a problem with anything first aid might give her. So we really do have a reason for wanting this information. If there's anything that your adults are really uncomfortable with filling in, like if they don't want to put in their physician or their insurance information, as long as we know who to contact in case there is any care to be given, and make sure that they know that information. And then again, if there's any medications that we need to be aware of, and again, they're kept on file. There's also an agreement on here saying that the adult has read the chaperone guidelines and will help us uphold the code of behavior. So it's really important to make sure that they don't just check it off without having actually read it. So make sure that they do get a copy of the chaperone guidelines, where we have just a nice little thank you, reminding them that while they are there chaperoning the specific teens from your parish or school, we also need their help in really just chaperoning everyone. And then in that, we have the code of conduct inserted within it. And so we do not need them to sign this piece of paper and give it back to us. They sign on Form 3, but this is what you need to make sure that they read before they sign that on Form 3. Make sense? Then similarly, for the youth, they have Form 4. And this does ask a little bit more questions because we do need to be acting in the place of the parent legally while we have them in our prized possession for the day. But we're going to also point out here that the teen is to sign off that they have read the Code of Conduct, which again is a handout that you can give to them, which is Form 6. Again, do not have them sign this and return it. Just make sure they have read it so that they can sign off on it then here on Form 4. We also then have an area that the adults needs to sign off if we can use pictures of the young person, that they are aware of the particulars of the event, and that they will hold the diocese harmless. Medical information, again, if you do have a parent who doesn't want to share some of this information in the first section, it's okay. They just need to make sure that they have whoever's emergency contact available that day in case we need treatment for the young person. They can also decide to select that they don't want any medical treatment. That does not mean we will not do anything for the young person in regards to first aid or something right on the basis. This means any extraordinary means or at a hospital or an ambulance. So in case people ask that question. We've added in this little area of select this or this. So that will help you know they better not check both. If so, you need to talk to them because they've just contradicted themselves to yes, treat or not treat. Yes, give over-the-counter medicine or don't give over-the-counter medicine. They have to choose one or the other on those. So again, here's another or to help you do that. If there's any other allergies, anything we should be aware of, excuse me, this would be the place to make note of that. Then this last one is every so often there are parents who have concerns about their young person but they might not want the local people to be as aware, but they would want the diocese to know. This is especially true if the youth are traveling more than 45 minutes, like those who will be coming for an hour and a half, hour and 45-minute drive, and feel that separation from the parent, that they might want to talk to someone here on the staff to let us know of a certain situation. So that's what this is for. So if you see that someone fills that out, when you're talking with that and you receive that, just make sure that they know that that means that they want me to call them from the diocese for something. Oftentimes people check it without paying attention, and then I call them and they're like, no, I don't need to talk to you. So I just wanted to point that out. And again, that is Form 4. So you, as the group leader, make sure that you keep copies of all of your Forms 3 and 4, and you send the original to me, along with the check made payable to the Diocese of Youngstown for the $30 per person. Form A, I don't know why I keep calling Form 1 Form A. I apologize. And then email or the flash drive for Form 2. Hopefully that makes sense. If I've confused you more, I apologize. But if you found that helpful, then let some other group leaders know. Again, that's just the quick review for the registration. And if you go back to your group leader manual, on page 7, I've included a checklist of things. So what we just covered was down here in the what you need to submit to the Office of Youth and Young Adult Ministry. I, again, am very thankful for everything that you're doing to make this possible for your young people to be part of the DYC 2018, and I hope that you will enjoy it with all your heart, and that we will have a day truly blessed by our God. Thank you again, and God bless.